Have Newcastle United identified the replacement for Alexander Isak? Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. Second video of the day, Friday night. It's half time in the Liverpool-Bournemouth game that I've got on in the background, so I thought I'd bring you a transfer update. And on that, how good does Hugo Ekitike look, by the way? That's a bloody shame, isn't it? He looks brilliant. They don't even need Isak. They really don't need Isak at Liverpool. Honestly, man, I mean, I want him gone now anyways, after what he's done, his behaviour, Alexander Isak at the club and to the fans and Eddie Howe and everyone else. But realistically, where's he going to play? And Ekitike is actually going to suffer if he comes in and can't develop, but he looks ready. I mean, I know it's only one game. He's had a good pre-season as well. And it is Bournemouth. Bournemouth's defending was terrible, but just his movement, you know, his control of the ball, his striking, we've seen it in the Community Shield already. He looks a class act. So it looks like our scouting department were bang on once again there after trying to sign him for a few years now. But he's gone. It's in the past. Isak might be in the past very soon. And Newcastle have moved on to a new target for our new potential number 9. Before getting into that, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and remember, you can join the channel and become a member to get involved in the monthly giveaways. Big up to the winner for this one. We did a giveaway, shall I say, on Facebook, Instagram, and to our YouTube members. So if you're watching, mate, your comments on the screen there now. I have replied to it, so drop me an email, tmctv2019@gmail.com, so we can sort that prize out for you. A Newcastle United shirt of your choice was the monthly giveaway this August. So any shirt he wants, home, away, goalkeeper, whatever, it's yours, pal. So keep an eye out for the monthly giveaways and what's up next. What's up next for Newcastle, though? Let's get stuck into transfer news. I want to catch this second half. And it's Gonzalo Ramos of Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, and yes again. Please, can we get this one done? I would be absolutely buzzing with this signing. He is my number 1 pick to replace Alexander Isak. If I could choose anyone now, it would be Ramos. It really would. I was crying out for him. The video was on the channel from years ago when we were actually linked to Ramos or Isak. Obviously, we went for Isak. Turned out all right in the end, until now, the little bastard. But it has obviously been a great signing. But Gonzalo Ramos, I am a huge advocate of. I think he's a very, very good player, a solid striker, a great goal scorer, and a proper number 9, you know. You seen it in the other night. I don't know if you watched the Super Cup, but he was the difference. Having that vocal point down the middle, having that movement, that threat, the goal scoring ability, one chance and it's in the back of the net. He's honestly class, man. We've seen it on the international stage with Portugal as well. So he's linked with Newcastle this evening. Let's see what's been said from the Daily Mail. First of all, Craig Hope, and then Sky Sports News and others have picked up on that Newcastle United have renewed their interest in the PSG star. So there was rumours of Ramos being linked to replace Isak about a month ago now, even at the start of the window, or linked to sign him when we were going for the likes of Ekitike. And as I mentioned, 2-3 years ago, we were linked with him when he was at Benfica. But now it looked like the deal was off. We'd kind of had tentative inquiries to Paris Saint-Germain about Gonzalo Ramos. Those were kind of rebuffed, or the fee was getting too high that the French giants were demanding. But now it is back on, according to the Mail, like I say, others. The 24-year-old who was on the club shortlist for a while, they suggested that a move was unlikely after initial inquiries earlier in the window. However, it is now a live option for the Magpies. So again, despite what Eddie Howe's saying in that earlier, you know, Isak, hope he stays, and yes, I expect to be Newcastle on September the 2nd. That's only if we can't get a replacement in, and if Liverpool do come in with a bid to meet our valuation, which tonight, and after their pre-season, I'm not just looking at it and thinking, oh, we've got to take issue, we just can't. They've been linked with Mateta, haven't they? They've been in talks with Mateta earlier in the window. Do you not think Liverpool, it would make sense? I'm just saying this because if Isak, I would have been saying it earlier, but after his behaviour, I genuinely don't want him here. So do come in from and buy him. You know, I'd still rather sell him to a team abroad, which we'll get into in a minute, just so I didn't have to see him score every week in the Premier League and have to face him and boo him and everything. I can't be arsed, I just want him out of my life. But with Isak, go ahead and get him if you want Liverpool, but realistically, they don't necessarily need him. I think what they need is like a Mateta, is an older striker, and then who's proven it can come in now and again, you know, and then Ekitike can continue to learn and develop and reach his potential. Exactly what Newcastle are trying to do. If they got into Ramos, the 24-year-old, we're getting in Wissa, he should be here early next week. You've got a mixture of old and new there. You know, you've got a 29-year-old in Johan Wissa, Premier League proven. You've got an exciting player in Gonzalo Ramos, who isn't necessarily really young. You know, 24 now. He's getting right in amongst the years where you'd expect him to be hitting things off, going into his peak, his prime in another couple of years' time. But that's the kind of balance you want. You know, that's what we're looking for, and that's why Newcastle haven't really went, or as of yet, went for an Ollie Watkins, because it's the same sort of age bracket as Wissa, silly price tags. So they're looking abroad, they're looking at these youngsters, and it is an option now. Gonzalo Ramos, the Portuguese forward, Newcastle are big admirers of him. The people behind the scenes there at St James's Park really rate him, and intermediaries have indicated that a deal is possible. PSG would be more minded to sell rather than complete a loan. Newcastle are understood to be exploring this option because they were probably keen on that loan with an obligation to buy. Exactly what PSG did to Benfica to secure the services of Ramos a few years ago. They paid 65 million euros for him with a potential of 20 million in add-ons. And it was a bit of a loan fee at the start as well. I think it may have been a 20 million loan fee as well. So it could have been rising all the way to 80 million euros. So a big chunk of that money hasn't quite got going there. I'll talk about his goal scoring record in a minute. The stats are still good, but he's never really been able to cement his name in that starting 11. But listen, many players went to PSG. It didn't quite happen for Neymar, for Messi, in terms of winning things and hitting the ground running. So when you look at Ramos, I think he's did a very good job. And obviously before that, Benfica. And every time I see him for Portugal, I'm like, that is a quality player. You can just see it. He oozes the quality and the strengths of a striker. And obviously I mentioned that Super Cup win over Tottenham the other night. He was the game changer. Came off the bench. Great run, great goal. And after that, though, in a post-match interview, it looked like he did commit his future to the Champions League winners. But the Benfica star, as we've mentioned, has never been a regular starter, and Luis Enrique has never really fancied him. And as we've said earlier, PSG are open to talks, they are open to sell, so it would just be convincing Ramos to make the move here. But obviously he'll know, just like Chow knew and others have known, of Eddie Howe's interest and a long-term interest from the club in trying to sign him. And that's going to speak volumes for, you know, how much does a club want you. He's at PSG where they're not really asked about him. They've got Dembele, they've got Dewey, they've got all these stars. You're off the bench all the time. Come to Newcastle, mate. Get the number 9. Not yet, though. Got to earn it. But he's the number 9 at PSG. And, you know, show you how much you want it. Show how much it means to you. Play for that shirt and be the main man. You know, it won't be long before you've got a tifo and a flag made for you. So this time just imitate Isak and actually worship the fans like we worship you. You know, it's not a one-way street here. As we know, Newcastle are still working on bringing on 2 strikers for this window. Wissa all but done. And then Isak's replacement. So they're working hard behind the scenes there at Newcastle. Eddie Howe will not compromise, though, on quality. So it's kind of a really short list now of Ramos and maybe 1 or 2 others. The Samus from Porto, who I would love, but again, 80 million is what they're asking for one breakthrough season. It's crazy. It's too much. It's not happening. And like I said, we're not just going to go out there and maybe get a Watkins who may, by the looks of it anyway so far, you know, the search, the identity for that striker seems to be a younger one from abroad. Benjamin Šeško was obviously right up there, and he stupidly chose to go to Man United. But yeah, we're not going to compromise. Eddie Howe's not going to compromise on the quality of the player or the character. So just like what you've seen this week, the good characters of Ramsey coming in, and the Langa so far in the window and the rest of them, they get it. They've got a good spirit about them. They've got a good character, and that's very important for that dressing room. So we mentioned Ramos not quite getting the starts he would want at PSG, but he has still been getting the goals. 34 goals from 88 appearances for PSG, even though only 34 of those were starts. So very good record there. What we're looking at fee-wise now then, you're looking at reports suggesting in France that it would cost around 55-60 million euros, which is decent to be fair, like. You know, I'm surprised that I would think it might be more. I mean, like I said, they paid around 80 million for him, euros, including the add-ons. But he's older now. He hasn't really, you know, hit the dizzy heights that they would have hoped for. So maybe 50 million pounds may get the job done, rising to maybe 60 million pounds. And I think that's a deal we should be all over. Honestly, I really do. I really like Ramos. I think he's a quality striker. And I tell you what we should be doing. As I mentioned, Liverpool don't even need Ekitike. PSG do need a striker. They want one. They don't quite like Ramos. Doesn't quite suit their style of play of what they're trying to do. Tell you what we'll do, lads. He's at the PSG. Cash plus Ramos. Everyone's a winner. Let's get it. Please, play a cash swap deal. Can we do a bit of that? That just makes too much sense for everyone, if you ask me. Like, PSG want a striker. You know, Isak wants to move. There you go, son. Go to Paris. Get loads of money. That's what you want, realistically. You can win the Champions League there, maybe. There you go. That ticks another box that you don't think you can achieve at Newcastle. And Ramos, come here, be a starter, be the main man, and Newcastle get the striker, PSG get the striker, and we get a bit of money. Everyone's a winner. Liverpool, keep Ekitike and the rest of them, and that's just what we want to do. This would be the ideal world. Bit of a dream scenario there for me. I'm a too wishful thinking on that one, probably. But realistically, if that's the case, then just go and get Ramos for 50, 60 mil and flog Liverpool Isak for 130, 40 and let's be done with it and move on with our lives. God, it'd be great, wouldn't it? But yeah, got to keep going the transfer window, got to keep the transfer videos coming, you know what I mean? And then it'll be a few weeks before it closes and we can focus on the football. One of the signings that is through the door at St James Park, literally, is Jacob Ramsey. Yet to be officially revealed by Newcastle United, but these images have been surfacing online today of him in his Newcastle shirt, the number 41, as expected, as that's been his number throughout his entire career. That's what he's chose on the back of his new home kit, which of course, you know, he doesn't have any other numbers to pick from, to be fair. With the squad numbers being announced, he's went for that one. Must be a lucky number for him down there. So, Ramsey showing around the place. The video's getting done for the Newcastle website, the social media pages and all that. Him and his family in St James Park today, getting shown around, be completing all these media duties, the interview and everything. And who knows, might even be announced tomorrow morning. But obviously, he wouldn't have been registered in time Friday midday to feature at Villa Park again, but on the opposite side this time tomorrow. So Ramsey, great signing there. There's one through the door around the £40 million mark for the England midfielder. Happy with that one? Great bit of business again. If we get Ramos in and Isak comes in next week, we're laughing. This transfer window from Rejection FC and all the stress is turned on its head, and it still has the potential to be a very good summer. But it's going to be amazing, interesting to see what happens with Alexander Isak, with Liverpool's development, with how Ekitike is kicking on, with them not putting the money up for him, and Isak's behaviour. Who knows where this saga goes next? But would you, like me, do you agree that Ramos would be a great replacement for Alexander Isak? Would you be happy to see him as our striker, or do you disagree? Let us know in the comments. Who should we go for instead then? Or are you in the case of just keep Isak, F him and he has to play for it? Let us know, everyone. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you tomorrow for a match reaction after the Villa game. Hopefully a big win to start the season would be absolutely lovely. I'm still backing that 1-1 draw. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.